This is Kenny with Valley Center Gun Safety. I have a video request for Super 94 Bigfoot. He wants to know the best way to do a barrel swap, the tools needed, and the best way to mount a bull barrel on your Ruger 1022. Alright, the tools you're going to need is a medium-sized or large-sized screwdriver to take off the screw to mount the stock to the barrel of the receiver. And you're going to need a 5/32 Allen head wrench or a 4mm Allen head wrench. They're the same size, 4mm or 5/32. I've already removed the receiver screw and the Allen heads to save time on the video. So I'm going to go cut to the chase and show you the best ways to mount it and some few tricks that I've learned along the way to get the proper alignment for the extractor. Okay, the number one tip I can recommend in order to take your stock barrel off, what you want to do is you want to pull the bolt back and lock the bolt back. That is incredibly important. I've seen guys, and I've done it myself in the very first barrel swap, I wasn't thinking, and I lift the bolt forward, and when I went to go remove the barrel, you have to kind of twist the barrel out of the receiver. And when the bolt was forward, the extractor was inside the extractor cut, and when I twisted the barrel out, I actually bent the extractor because I was using too much force because it was really hard to get out. So lock the bolt back. So step one, after you strip your rifle apart, lock your bolt back. Okay, I've already removed the barrel locking system, so your stock barrel will be a little harder to remove because it's, you know, factory press. So put it in a vise, put the receiver in a vise, and use soft vise or a vise with towels, or your hand if you're strong enough, and just twist very gently and pull evenly and remove the stock barrel. This is obviously the bull barrel. I'm just demonstrating. Okay. Alright, so prep the barrel. What I do is I take very fine sandpaper, very fine. And as you can see with this one, I lightly polish or take off any burrs. I don't grind it, I don't push on it. It's just very light, very light. Just to take off any burrs that may be in the extractor cut or things like that. It is a machine barrel, and you know, machines are not perfect. They're held to tight tolerances, but it's not always perfect. So file that down, or, you know, with very light paper and very light strokes. Okay, next what I do is I do the same thing inside the receiver hole for the barrel. Take the fine sandpaper and just put it around your upper on your finger or your pinky finger if you got fat fingers like me. You got mechanic hands, and just slightly twist the paper around and clean inside there. Again, making, you know, it helps oversize it, and it'll take any burrs off that you left when you pulled the barrel out, because this is aluminum receiver. It does mar very easily. Also, you want to take a little dab of oil, and you want to put it right here where that part slides on the perch. Okay, so pick your receiver up with your receiver bolt lock back and gently slide it in the barrel. Doing gentle twists. Your factory barrel, your new build barrel, will be harder to put in than this one. This one's a very worn receiver, so it might went in easy, but you might have a little hard time. So gently twist, small twist. Don't go in circles. Gently twist, push it in, and then it'll lock in. Align your extractor cuts from the extractor to the extractor cut. So let your bolt go gently forward, watching the extractor cut on the barrel, and make sure it lines up. And you can give the barrel a twist, and it'll stop in both directions, so you know you're in the cut. Okay. Here's a trick that I've learned over the years to get perfect barrel alignment inside the extractor cut. What you do is when you remount your barrel, you put your screws in, Now, you may not be hard to tell on the camera, but this area right here is perfectly flush. And if this is canted in any way, this V-block will actually tilt to one side or another. So when you actually look level here, there'll be a dip. The V-block will be either tilted up or down compared to this level part of the receiver. So you want the V-cut, the V-block, perfectly flush, no high or low parts. That means you're perfectly aligned with the extractor cut. So I'll line mine up. A little more, a little twist. Looks like we're lined up pretty good. And I'll go ahead and tighten them down. I'll tighten them down and I'll cut the video because you don't need to watch that. Here's a close-up of the V-block perfectly aligned with the receiver. You can see what I'm talking about right here. See, it's perfectly flush. No tilts. Another note, when you're tightening those V-block screws, when you're mounting the barrel to the receiver, keep in mind that receiver is aluminum. You want to keep it hand tight. So just snug them up with your hands, just enough to where it's tight enough to where they don't move, to where they stop. So when you're turning it, just kind of like, that's it. You don't want to pull and twist because you'll thrash the receiver because it's aluminum. And you're ready to remount your barrel and your receiver to your stock. Okay, I'm going to talk about barrels. Okay, I want to talk about barrels real quick. E.R. Shaw, Green Mountain, Tactical Solutions, and Volquartsen barrels are all nearly the same. Volquartsen barrels are on the high end of the spectrum. Some of the barrels I think go up to almost $1,000, I believe. Like, that's incredibly expensive. I have Green Mountain barrels that range anywhere from $100, up to $150, depending if they're fluted or not. They all shoot relatively the same. I have them all, or I've shot them all. And when I shoot with different barrels, using this system with just a barrel swap, using quality CCI Velociter ammo or mini mags or a Lapua match, they all shoot the same. I mean, there's no difference between the group size. If there is, you're talking a millimeter at 100 yards, 2 millimeters, and I'm not exaggerating. Because I spent that money because I thought I was getting the best bang for my buck buying Volquartsen, and I quickly sold my Volquartsen barrel because I used it to waste some money because my Green Mountain shot just as well, and the Green Mountain was $500 less. And that range carries all the way up to 225 yards. There's no difference. They all shoot the same. I know I'll probably get a lot of flack for that, but I challenge anybody to prove me different. I mean, I'll invite them to my ranch. They can try to outshoot me with my Green Mountain, and they can have the Volquartsen rig. You're more than welcome to. Or show a video showing the different barrels and swapping them out and then showing groups and shooting your best. And I guarantee you, you won't find any difference. It's like 1 or 2 millimeters at 50 to 100 yards. It's nothing, so it doesn't justify the cost, in my personal opinion. So if you go E.R. Shaw, those barrels go from like $100 to $150. Same thing with Green Mountain. I like Tactical Solutions, but they're a little bit pricey in my opinion. They're kind of overrated. They're nice barrels, but they're just overpriced in my personal opinion for what you're getting, an aluminum barrel with a steel sleeve. And you want to shoot quality ammo out of these things. You can shoot any ammo out of these things. I don't shoot lead because lead gums up the barrels unless it's a subsonic round. I use copper-plated bullets. I stick with CCI Velocitors out of this particular gun because I want the barrel to wear to that particular bullet, so I get the best bang and most accuracy for my buck. You start swapping different bullets in there, different bullet weights, different bullet types. You start doing weird wear patterns on the inside of the barrel. Then your accuracy will go to crap. Trust me, I've done it. Also, when you clean your barrel, clean it very carefully. Don't scrub back and forth really hard. Just punch the barrel in, punch the barrel out, and things like, just don't go fast. Just take your time. Use a bronze or copper brush. Use an aluminum rod. Do not use steel rod to punch the barrel with. What you have to be really careful with is the crown. That's the crown. If you use a steel rod, like I was mentioning, when you go punch the barrel, and you don't line that rod right, you'll start damaging the barrel and the crown. And that will throw off your accuracy big time. Once that crown gets damaged, the concentricity of the exhaust gases that are coming in when the barrel leaves won't be perfect. And you'll get, the bullet will start to wobble, it'll ass out in whatever direction there's a defect in the crown. So be very careful. Also keep your crowns clean. Excess carbon and debris will also throw the bullet ass off as it exits the barrel, because there's too many, there's lead coming out of that thing and it builds up on the crown. So if you start noticing your accuracy going to hell in a handbasket, clean your crown. Alright, this is Kenny with Value Center Gun Safety. Super 94 Bigfoot, I hope I answered your questions. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Go ahead and email me and I'll email you back the questions you ask.